Now, I know you're just getting started and probably already feeling stressed and a little unsure of what the next step is. So, first, let's work on defining your wedding vision. This section will help you define what is important to you as individuals and then allow you to come together and compromise as a couple. It will also help to create a clear roadmap and identify your specific planning needs. The first step is figuring out what is important to you. You want to do this each on your own with no input from each other and no restrictions at all. So, no budget limit, no guest count concerns, no pressure from others. What would your dream wedding look like? Where would it be? What would it feel like for you? We created our Wedding Vision Worksheet to guide you in making some basic planning choices. Wedding Vision Worksheet to guide you in making some basic planning choices. It's so easy to fill out the first page, it's almost like a paint by number, and it's just some simple questions to get you started thinking about your overall wedding. Ultimately, we want to clearly define and then later come to an agreement on 5 things: location, wedding size, budget range, your top 3 priorities, and your non-negotiables. So first, location. Where in the world would your wedding be held? This question may be easy for some and tough for others. Many people opt for their hometown, but there are also so many destination options. Consider things like cost, seasonal availability, and travel time. Number 2, wedding size. So this means specifically how many guests will attend. Since you haven't even thought of a guest list yet, we created 3 different ranges where we see the number of guests really starts to impact the cost and logistics of the event. That would be small and intimate weddings, which are less than 75 guests, an average size wedding, which is 80 to 150 guests, or a large wedding, which is 150 guests and up. Number 3, budget range. What budget range would you want to be in? This is a tough question because the first 2 questions about location and guest size can have a huge impact on your budget, and you haven't yet talked to your VIPs about donating to the cause. At this point, we're just looking for a budget range that you both agree is a reasonable amount to spend on the event. Number 4, your top 3 priorities. Next, think about your wedding overall and choose the top 3 things that are the most important aspect to you and have your fiance do the same. These can be things like flowers or people, like including a stepchild, or feelings like having privacy. One helpful tool at this point will be our wedding priorities cheat sheet. It's a simple list of things that we've heard from our clients that were listed as priorities when we helped plan weddings. Number 5, non-negotiables. Use this section sparingly. Something that is non-negotiable is of such an importance to you, it could change plans completely for all parties involved in the event. The list should be really short because if you have too many non-negotiables, you'll seem really demanding and that you just aren't willing to compromise. And that's no way to start a marriage. So come together with your list and see how you match up. Warning, you may have completely different ideas on what makes a perfect wedding. When my now husband and I were initially planning our wedding, we realized right off the bat we wanted really different things. I wanted to elope in Las Vegas, and he wanted a 3-day-long music festival camp out that just so happened to include a marriage ceremony. And if you're like us, now is the perfect time to test out your couple skills and compromise. Start with your non-negotiable items first, and as long as they don't conflict, you can move on. If they do, look at your list of priorities and see where you can give and take to make sure that you both get some, but probably not all, of what you want. Together, you will be creating your wedding vision statement. This is a single statement that will describe exactly what you want your wedding to be like. We tried to make it fun for you by making it a game. And so if you download our Wedding Priorities cheat sheet, you will find within it a WedLib. It's an easy way to have fun while you compromise and come up with a unified wedding plan. Now bust out the bubbly because it's time to celebrate. You now have a clear wedding vision, a list of priorities, and you're a united front where you both know what you want, you agree on what you can afford, and you've compromised with your priorities in mind, and your non-negotiable items were clearly laid out.